Hello, welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. Today I'm going to share with you all of my goals for my sewing practice, if you will, in the year 2023. If you're interested to hear what I have, I don't know if I'm actually going to say that I have it planned because we'll see how many of these I get through, but some plans that I have for the year, then please stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing that I want to get accomplished this year, and it's not accomplished, it's a maintenance thing, so it's ongoing, is I want to be much better at maintaining my sewing journal. So this year in 2022, I was terrible about putting in my makes as I made them. And so I'm now at the point where I have to catch it all up because I do want a full record of everything that I made last year. So I did go through, as I've mentioned on a previous video, and I did put in, I'm still updating it, but I did put in a sheet for every make that's going to have some notes on it. And I'm still in the midst of printing copies of all of the photographs to put in here as well. For 2022, but for 23, I want to make a garment, print my sheet, take my photograph, and put it in the journal. That shouldn't be that difficult. I don't know why I had such a hard time keeping up with it this year, but that is my goal for this year, is to maintain my journal. The second goal for the year is I want to maintain my Trello account, meaning I want to keep it up to date with all of my fabric, whether it's purchases or uses, because what I do is I've got, and I'll link in the description box below, I always have a link to my Trello account. So if you're a nosy Nelly like me and you want to see what patterns I have and what fabrics I have, what I have loaded in Trello at least is linked in the description box below. And I want to get much better about organizing, or keeping it updated, I should say. So I have recently gone in and made adjustments to the way that I have it organized. I did have it set up with one board for all of my woven fabrics, one board for all of my knit fabrics. I had a board for specialty fabrics, one for muslin fabrics, so like thrifted sheets and things that I bought to use as muslins. And then I had a board to move fabrics into once I've used them, and so it's called made. And then I've had one for destashing, so things that I've decided, I bought them a few years ago because they were a super cheap price, but I'm really not in love with them and I wouldn't wear them if I made something with them. I'm pushing those to the destashify list, and I haven't decided how I'm going to destashify, but that's what's in there. So this week I went in and I broke up my woven and knit fabrics. Did I do the knits? I did. And I separated them by color. So I'm not going so far as to say, you know, fabric types, but I do have, like, I don't have a woven or a rayon board and a linen board or things like that. I've got red woven fabrics, pink woven fabrics, and everything that's woven and in that color family is in that board. So I did go through and do that, but so when I did that, the fabrics that I've used this year that I hadn't moved over to the made category, I did that, but I still need to upload. I need to go through everything that I organized and make sure that whatever's not in Trello gets added, because, and I'll get to that in a minute, one of my other goals is dependent on that being updated. I want to do the same thing for my patterns. I want to go through and make sure that everything that I've bought last year is added in there. I did update it. I went through everything that I own physically and made sure that it was added at some point last year. It might have been sometime in the summer, so I shouldn't have a whole lot to add, but I did hit a few Style Arc sales that I know of. So I just need to go through my email account and make sure that I look at anything that has upload or download in it to make sure that I've got everything in there. And what I do for my patterns is I put a link to the website. I put a photograph. I've been trying to put a photograph both of the finished make, not necessarily mine if I haven't made it yet, but like the marketing photo and the line drawing, I put, and you can put tags in Trello so that you can filter on the tags, or labels they call them. And so I put how much fabric generally, like, is it 1 to 2 yards? Is it 2 to 3 yards? Is it more than 3 yards? I put the fabric type that it requires, either woven or knit. I don't get super technical other than that. I put the pattern, I put different types of pattern descriptions. Is it a shirt, a short sleeve shirt, a long sleeve shirt? Is it a short dress, a long dress? Is it, you know, those types of things. So I put it, and then I put whether or not the pattern is already printed, because the majority of my patterns are PDF. And I send my PDFs off to PDF plotting to get them printed. So I have most of my patterns printed. So I put whether or not it's printed so that when I'm ready to make it, I know if it's something I can make right away or if I have to send it off to PDF plotting. So that's one of my goals, is to get that updated and then to maintain it much better than I have been this past year. My third goal for the year is to make a quilt. I've been wanting to make a quilt for a while, like a true quilt. And when I was organizing my scraps earlier last week, I realized that I had a boatload of ice-dyed scraps. So I have the ones that I just used for my Joan top that I just showed you guys. And I just have tons and tons of different colors of ice dye. These are old swatches that I'm not using anymore. I did better swatches, so I have all these swatch squares. I've got this gorgeous piece that is a scrap from my Molly jacket that I made for myself. I've got this piece that's a scrap from the Molly jacket that I made for my sister-in-law. I've got this piece that's actually, it looks like it's big, but it's all cut up, jacked up, and it's got a lot of purples in it. And then I've got this piece that's from a Callie shirt dress that I made. So I have a lot of ice dye scraps that I don't know if I have enough to make a whole quilt, but I will by the end of the year, because I'm still going to keep ice dyeing. I'm just going to make a basic patchwork quilt that's just made with squares for my first one. And then once I get that done, then I might venture into some of the more involved patterns, but that's where I'm going to get started. My next goal is I would really love to learn sashiko embroidery. I just think it is so beautiful, and I would love to add that kind of a detail to one or two of my makes. And so there is a sashiko embroidery class being offered at the Sewing Expo in Lakeland in March. So I've definitely signed up for that one. So that will be a goal that I'm definitely going to learn. The next goal that I have on my list is to refashion or to fix. I have a closet full of me-mades that are not bad. Most of them, they're not, they're all wearable. Most of them are wearable. There's just something about it that I don't love. So I want to make that like one project a month where I just take something from the closet, I get whatever isn't ideal about it fixed, and then I move it over to my closet. And so that's one of my goals, is to work through all of my not ideal me-mades. They're not works in progress because they're all finished. They're just not ideal, if that makes sense. So the last couple of years, I've had a leather color block crossbody bag on my Make 9. I did not include that on my Make 9 this year, but it is still a goal that I have in the back of my head. So I have that on my goals list. I may or may not get to it. We'll see. I'm not trying to make too many promises that I can't keep to myself. So that isn't something that is an urgent need. It's something I'm just interested in doing. So we'll see whether or not that makes it. And then my last goal, like I said, I'm not overloading myself with goals. I'm just trying to keep it more like a maintenance kind of a thing for a lot of things. But this last goal that I have for myself is to use up 50% of my fabric stash that I'm starting the year with. So I am not telling myself that I can't buy more fabric, because that's just not realistic. It's just not, every time I do that and then I buy some fabric, I don't know. I actually don't usually even feel bad about it. But I feel bad about telling you guys that I did it. So what I need to do is finish getting everything that I actually own in my Trello account so I can tally up all of my yardage, and then I know how much yardage I have to get through by the end of the year to say that I've used up 50% of my stash that I started the year with. So anything new that comes into the stash is not going to count towards that goal. So if I bring something in new and I make something with it right away, that doesn't count. I want to get through 50% of what I'm starting the year with, and we'll see if that's doable or not. That could be a really lofty goal for me. We'll see. And if I decide that there's something in that stash that I don't love and I wouldn't wear, and I de-stashify it, then I don't think that's going to count towards my goal, because I feel like that's kind of cheating. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, those are my goals for the year. I'd love to hear what your goals are. To me, a goal is just a guideline for things like this, for a hobby. There are other goals that I have that I feel like I need to put like more strict, guidelines around. But for a hobby, to me, it's just, these are some things that I want to do. It's kind of like when I go on vacation. I have some goals of things that I want to accomplish, but if I don't accomplish them, does that mean the vacation was bad? No, probably not. So these are just things that I have in my head that I'd like to get done. If I get them done, then I'm going to feel great. If I don't get them done, I'm not going to feel bad. So I'd love to hear what your goals are. Let me know in the comment box below. And wherever you are, I hope the weather's amazing. I hope you're able to get some sewing in, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.